Welcome to today's story, where family bonds and quiet courage shine through the toughest moments. Picture a little Tennessee town, where a girl and her brave K9 dog face off against a gang of bikers. Never suspecting her ordinary dad's a former soldier with secrets that'll blow you away. It's a tale of the strength we all carry inside, and I can't wait to share it with you. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more heartwarming stories like this. Let's dive in. The morning sun cast a golden glow over Pine Hollow Farmers Market, a bustling Saturday tradition in the small Tennessee town of Pine Hollow. Nestled in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. The air smelled of fresh earth and ripe produce, mingling with the chatter of vendors and the laughter of kids darting between stalls. At the center of it all stood 12-year-old Lily Grayson, arranging baskets of tomatoes at her father's vegetable stand with the kind of care most kids her age reserved for video games. Her hands, a little shaky from nerves, moved deliberately, placing each tomato just so, ruby-red treasures grown from seeds her late grandmother had saved for decades. Lily was a big girl. Broader and taller than her classmates, and her faded denim overall stretched slightly across her frame. Her hazel eyes, her mother's eyes, sparkled with quiet pride as she worked. Though a shadow lingered in them, a weight no child should carry. Beside her, Ranger, her German shepherd, lay sprawled under the table, his dark fur gleaming in the sunlight. His ears twitched at every sound, and his steady presence was a comfort to Lily. She'd been teased plenty at Pine Hollow Middle School for her size. Thunder Thighs and Earthquake Alert were favorites among the sharper-tongued kids, but Ranger never judged her. He'd been with her through the worst nights since her mom, Sarah Grayson, passed from ovarian cancer 2 years ago. Food had become Lily's solace after that, a way to fill the emptiness left by grief. She'd sit up late, scribbling in a worn notebook under her pillow, pouring out feelings she couldn't say aloud. Some days, she'd catch her reflection in the bathroom mirror, tugging at her round cheeks. And whisper her mom's old saying, "It's not how big you are, Lilybug, it's how big you love." Across the market, Daniel Grayson, Lily's dad, unloaded crates of zucchini and sweet corn from their beat-up pickup. To the untrained eye, he was just another farmer, mid-40s, a little heavy around the middle, with weathered hands and a faded Vols cap pulled low over graying hair. But his sharp blue eyes missed nothing. He'd clocked the 5 motorcycles rumbling down Main Street long before anyone else noticed, their engines cutting through the morning peace like a warning shot. Daniel wasn't always a farmer. A decade ago, he'd been a Green Beret, leading covert missions in places most folks couldn't find on a map. His hands, now rough from soil, had once handled rifles in pitch-black jungles and carried teammates out of firefights. When Sarah got sick, he'd left that life behind, trading classified ops for the family farm. The transition hadn't been easy, grief and a slower pace had added pounds to his frame, but the land gave him something war never could, a chance to heal. Most days. The bikers pulled into the market lot at 10:23 a.m., chrome glinting as they parked in tight formation. They wore black leather vests emblazoned with a lightning bolt piercing a bear's skull, the mark of the Thunder Claws. A crew that had rolled into Pine Hollow 3 months back. Locals whispered they'd claimed the old Harper Mill on the outskirts, turning it into some kind of headquarters. The leader, a wiry guy everyone called Viper Malone, swung off his bike with a swagger that screamed trouble. His mirrored shades hid his eyes, but his grin was all teeth as he sauntered toward the stalls. His 4 cronies fanning out behind him. Lily felt Ranger stiffen beside her, a low growl rumbling in his chest. She rested a hand on his collar, murmuring, "Easy, boy," as Viper zeroed in on their stand. He leaned over the table, his breath sour with last night's bourbon, and plucked a tomato from her neat display. "Well, look at this," he drawled, his voice carrying over the hushed market. "Biggest little gal at the fair, huh? Bet you eat more of these than you sell." He crushed the tomato in his fist, juice dripping onto Lily's handwritten price tags, staining the careful loops of her cursive. Heat crept up Lily's neck, the old sting of shame flaring bright. She gripped the edge of the table, her knuckles white, but kept her voice steady. "They're $2.50 each. Heirlooms. No pesticides." Viper chuckled, tossing the ruined fruit back onto the pile. $2.50 for a squishy tomato? Girl, that's a scam. Your old man teach you to fleece folks?" He glanced toward Daniel, who was helping an elderly customer with a bag of corn, seemingly oblivious. But Lily knew better. She saw the subtle shift in her dad's stance, the way his shoulders squared. His head tilted just enough to track every move Viper made. Daniel wasn't the only one watching. Ranger's growl deepened, his hackles rising like a dark ridge along his spine. 7 years ago, Daniel had pulled him from a military kennel in Georgia, slated for euthanasia after an IED in Iraq left him with a limp and a distrust of loud noises. The handlers had called him unstable. But Daniel saw something else, a soldier's spirit, battered but unbroken. Under Daniel's care, Ranger had found purpose again, his K-9 training honed into a fierce loyalty to Lily. He slept by her door every night, nudged her hand when she sank too deep into sadness, and stood guard whenever the world got too close. Viper noticed the dog then, his smirk faltering for a split second. "That's some mutt," he said, stepping back as Ranger bared his teeth. "Looks like he's got a temper. Where'd a chubby kid and her fat farmer dad get a beast like that?" Lily's hand tightened on Ranger's collar. "He's a rescue," she said, the half-truth rolling off her tongue. Viper squinted, studying the dog's rigid posture. "Rescue, huh? Stands like one of those attack dogs I saw overseas. Trained to rip throats out. Weird find for a hick town." Daniel approached then, wiping his hands on a rag, his tone disarmingly friendly. "Morning. Something I can help you with?" Viper straightened. Sizing him up, an overweight guy in overalls, nothing to worry about. "Just chatting with your girl here," he said, smirking. "And this fancy dog. Seems protective. Liability in a place like this. Though. Be a shame if he bit someone." Daniel's smile didn't waver, but Lily caught the flicker in his eyes, cold, assessing, gone in an instant. "Ranger's good with folks who behave," he said evenly. "That tomato's $2.50, by the way." Viper laughed, dropping the crushed mess onto the table. "Did you a favor, too soft anyway." One of his crew, a burly guy with hammer tattooed across his neck, bumped the stall as he passed, knocking a basket of zucchini to the ground. "Oops," he muttered, grinning as Lily scrambled to pick them up. Viper lingered, his gaze shifting between Daniel and Lily. "Small towns," he called out, loud enough for the crowd to hear. "Everybody thinks their little patch is special. Maybe Pine Hollow needs a lesson in how things work with new folks around." He patted Lily's cheek, his hand lingering too long. "See you around, big girl. Maybe ease up on the snacks, huh?" Ranger lunged, barking sharp and loud, only held back by Lily's grip. Viper flinched, his hand twitching toward his belt before he caught himself. Daniel stepped forward, placing himself between them. "Time to move on," he said quietly, his voice like steel wrapped in cotton. Viper hesitated, thrown by something in Daniel's calm. Then he smirked again. "Let's roll, boys. This dump's boring." The Thunderclaws mounted their bikes, engines roaring as they peeled out. Viper circling back once to point at Lily and drag a finger across his throat. Daniel waited until they were gone before turning to Lily. "You okay, kiddo?" She nodded, though her hands shook. "Just the usual jerks." He sighed, recognizing the weight behind her words. Bullying was an old wound for her. "Pack up," he said. "We're closing early." Lily frowned. "But we've barely sold anything." "Some days are like that," he replied, folding the canopy with quick, practiced motions. To the market crowd, he might have looked rattled. Lily knew better, her dad was already planning his next move. As they loaded the truck, Sheriff Tom Delaney's cruiser rolled up. A lanky man with a graying mustache, he tipped his hat as he approached. Heard the thunder claws stirred things up. He said, notepad in hand. They threaten you or Lily? Daniel shrugged, keeping it casual. Just noise. Messed up a tomato, knocked some stuff over. No big deal. Tom's eyes narrowed. Third time this week they've pulled something. They're getting cocky. He lowered his voice. Keep an eye on Lily, Dan. These aren't your average bikers, they're organized. Daniel nodded, patting Ranger's head. We've got a solid alarm system. Tom glanced at the dog, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Call if anything pops up. Back at the Grayson farm, a sprawling 50 acres of rolling fields and a weathered white farmhouse, Daniel drove in silence. His grip tight on the wheel. Lily watched him, recognizing the look, jaw set, eyes scanning the horizon. They're just dumb bikers, right? She asked as they pulled into the gravel drive. He parked, then held up a tiny black device he'd found under their stall table. Tracking bug. Military grade. They targeted us specifically. Lily's stomach dropped. Why us? That's what I'm gonna find out. He said, crushing it in his hand. Stick close for now, Lily bug. School and home only, till I figure this out. That night, after Lily crashed with Ranger sprawled across her feet, Daniel slipped into the barn. Behind a hidden panel lay a setup no farmer should have, encrypted laptops, surveillance gear, and a locked cabinet of unregistered weapons. He fired up the system, pulling satellite images of the Harper Mill. New buildings, heavy traffic, a beefed-up fence. It wasn't just a biker hangout. This was something bigger. As the screen glowed, Daniel's mind raced. Whatever the Thunder Claws were up to, they just poked the wrong bear. Monday dawned gray and heavy over Pine Hollow, the sky a thick quilt of clouds that matched Lily Grayson's mood. The weekend clash at the farmer's market lingered like a bad taste, and the thought of school made her stomach twist. She pushed soggy cereal around her bowl, Ranger's head resting on her lap. His warm weight a steady anchor. Daniel sat across the kitchen table, sipping coffee, his eyes distant but sharp. He'd been quiet all morning, and Lily knew that look. He was piecing something together. Something big. Straight home after school, he said as they walked to the bus stop, Ranger trotting beside them. No stops. Call if anything feels off. Lily adjusted her backpack. Nodding. I'll be fine, Dad. She tried to sound convincing, but the words felt thin. School had gotten rougher lately. The teasing about her weight had sharpened since a new kid, Cody Malone, Viper's son, showed up. At 14, Cody ruled the 8th grade with a mix of charm and menace, zeroing in on Lily's weak spots like he'd been handed a manual: her size, her mom's death, the panic attacks she hid from most folks. The bus ride was a gauntlet of whispers from the back, where Cody and his crew held court. Better brace the seats. Someone snickered. Lily stared at her sneakers, counting breaths like her counselor taught her: 4 in, hold 7, 8 out. It kept the panic at bay, barely. At school, the day unfolded predictably, a nasty note on her locker: Piggy. Groans when she sat down, giggles when she spoke in class. She'd built defenses: head up, focus on work, library at lunch. But today felt different, like the air itself was waiting for something to snap. It did, between 3rd and 4th period. Lily was at her locker when Cody and 3 buddies boxed her in. Hey, wide load, Cody sneered, slamming her locker shut so fast she nearly lost a finger. My dad says your mutt's some kinda killer. What's a fat chick need a guard dog for? To fetch snacks? Lily kept her eyes down, heart hammering. Leave me alone, she muttered, trying to slip past. Cody blocked her, leaning close. Dad said your old man acted weird Saturday. Like he's hiding something. You got secrets, Grayson? Your dad a freak or just a loser? The words hit harder than usual, too pointed to be random. Lily shoved past, surprising even herself, and Cody stumbled, his smirk twisting into fury. You'll pay for that, cow, he hissed. The rest of the day piled on, her gym locker tagged with moo, her lunch sandwich smashed in her bag, soaking her books. By last period, her chest tightened, vision tunneling, a panic attack brewing. She bolted to the bathroom after the bell, locking herself in a stall as sobs shook her. The waves crashed over her, each one heavier, until she was hollowed out, eyes swollen and raw. The halls were empty when she emerged. Her phone was dead, another Cody trick, she figured, and the bus was long gone. 3 miles home felt impossible. Standing there, a dark thought crept in. One she'd wrestled before: if she just stopped existing, the hurt would stop too. No more taunts, no more pitying glances, no more dragging her dad down. She drifted upstairs. Past classrooms, to the roof access door, unlocked, as always, thanks to the baseball team's smoke breaks. The gravel crunched under her feet as she stepped out, the cloudy sky pressing low. The edge was 20 feet away, the pavement below a cold promise. 2 steps from the drop, a sharp bark snapped her back. Ranger bounded across the roof, his limp barely slowing him, and wedged himself between her and the edge, whining. Daniel burst through the door seconds later, face pale as death. He dropped beside her as she sank to her knees, wrapping her in his arms. Ranger pressed close. "Lilybug," he rasped, voice breaking. "I'm here. I've got you." She clung to him, sobbing. "How'd you know?" "Ranger. You didn't come home, so I brought him to find you. He led me straight here." He cupped her face, tears in his eyes. "Don't ever, I can't lose you too." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "It was too much today." He pulled her up, arm around her shoulders. "Home, kiddo. We'll face this together." In the parking lot, Sheriff Tom leaned against his cruiser, nodding once, a silent signal. Back home, over hot cocoa with Ranger at her feet, Daniel met with Tom at the kitchen table. "How'd that dog know exactly where she was?" Tom asked, eyebrow raised. Daniel shrugged. "I keep tabs on her. She's been struggling." Tom leaned in. "Cut the crap, Dan. I ran your name after today, 20 years, most of it blacked out. Ranger's got a service number. You show up here when your career ends? I'm not the enemy, but I need the truth if the Thunder Claws are after you." Daniel exhaled, weighing his words. Green Beret, retired after Sarah's diagnosis. Ranger was my unit's bomb dog, till an IED sidelined him. We came here to start over. That's it. And the Thunder Claws? No history, but they're not just bikers. They're funded, structured, and they're eyeing Lily for some reason. Tom nodded. They've got too much cash. Too many ties, too fast. I'm stretched thin, 3 deputies for 80 square miles. If they're trouble, I could use your skills. Daniel hesitated. I'm a farmer now. You're this town's best shot. Tom countered, standing. Think it over. Keep Lily close. Next morning, Daniel pulled Lily from school for the week, citing a family issue. He needed time to lock things down. At breakfast, she asked, "Am I in trouble?" "No, kiddo," he said firmly. "But promise me, if those feelings hit again, you tell me, day or night." "Promise?" Tears welled as she nodded. "I promise." After he left for town errands, Lily holed up in her room with Ranger, flipping through her notebook. Cody's words, "Does your dad have secrets?" gnawed at her. They weren't just bullying. They were digging. A knock jolted her at noon. Peeking out, she saw Miss Harper, her English teacher, on the porch with a folder. Miss Harper was one of the good ones, always stepping in when kids got mean. Lily called Daniel. "Miss Harper's here with papers." "Stay inside," he said, voice tight. "Tell her you're sick, mailbox drop. Don't open the door." Lily relayed the message through the door, watching Miss Harper leave the folder and go. When Daniel got back, he checked the contents, homework and a kind note, before stashing it away. "Why not let her in?" Lily asked. "She's nice." "Just being careful," he said, but his eyes said more. That afternoon, he rigged the farm with discreet security, cameras in birdhouses, motion sensors in flower beds. That night, he hit the Rusty Spur, Pine Hollow's dive bar, blending in with jeans and flannel. The Thunder Claws owned a corner table, Viper at the center. Daniel nursed a beer, chatting with the bartender, Mike, while watching. "Rough week?" Mike asked. "Lily's tough," Daniel replied. "Tougher than she knows." Hammer sidled up, smirking. "Heard your kid took a roof tour. Shame it flopped." Daniel sipped his beer. "You're real plugged in about a kid's private stuff." Hammer shrugged. "Small town. Viper figured you'd be mad about the market. No hard feelings. Tell Viper if he messes with Lily again, anywhere, there'll be plenty of feelings," Daniel said, calm as ice. Hammer's grin faded, sensing the threat's weight. Message received. "But Pine Hollow's changing, Grayson. Viper likes your farm, good roads, quiet, storage. He's got a fat offer." Daniel stood. "Not for sale. Tell him we're staying put." He left, a recorder in his pocket capturing every word. Back home, he knew, the Thunder Claws wanted more than land, they just lit a fuse. 3 days after the bar standoff, a thick fog blanketed Pine Hollow, turning the Grayson farm into a ghostly silhouette. Lily stood at her window, watching mist swirl around the barn, Ranger's ears perked beside her. The Thunder Claws weapons shipment was due tonight. Daniel had tracked it through old military contacts, and today was their last chance to nail down proof. Over breakfast, he'd laid it out: "You go to school, act normal, watch Cody. I'll hit up Mrs. Elsie Tate, she's got eyes on everything. No risks, just observe." Lily nodded, nerves buzzing. "Got it, Dad." At school, she and Ranger moved like a unit, his service vest marking him as her therapy dog, an accommodation Sheriff Tom had pushed through after the roof scare. Lily noticed new details: Cody texting furiously in class, Ms. Harper eyeing certain kids, fresh cameras in the halls. At lunch, she sat near the exit, spotting Cody and 3 Thunder Claw kids slip out to meet a delivery guy in the lot. A small package changed hands, quick, slick. She snapped a photo, pretending to scroll her phone. Ranger tensed, but stayed cool. "Interesting lunch crew," Miss Harper said, sliding in across from her with a tray. Lily locked her phone. "Mind if I sit?" "No, ma'am," Lily said, wary. Miss Harper studied Ranger. "He's special. That kind of training's rare outside the military." Lily stuck to the script. "He helps my anxiety." "Your dad must know people to get a dog like that," Miss Harper pressed, her smile tight. "We got lucky," Lily replied. Miss Harper glanced at the lot as Cody returned. "Luck's funny. Preparation's better." She left with a cryptic, "Stay safe in this fog." Across town, Daniel sat in Elsie Tate's cozy living room, sipping tea as the 80-year-old town historian dished dirt. Those bikers shamed Lily at the market, she huffed, passing him cookies. Back in my day, men had manners. Thanks for sticking up for her, Daniel said. Elsie's eyes twinkled. You surprised me, though, cool as a cucumber. Reminded me of my husband, Bill, Vietnam vet. Same calm before the storm. Daniel kept his poker face. Anger doesn't fix much. Smart, Elsie said. But these thunderclaws think Pine Hollow's a pushover. They're not the first. In '85, some investors tried turning the Harper Mill into a drug hub. We stopped them cold. How? Daniel asked. Elsie grinned. Pine Hollow takes care of its own, any way we can. These bikers are worse, late-night trucks, military types, not just hogs and attitude. She leaned in. Last week, I saw your Ms. Harper with a guy behind the mill, papers swapped, no romance. He looked official, government, maybe. Daniel's mind clicked. You're sharp. Mrs. Tate. Old, not blind, she shot back. You're no farmer, Daniel. You're gearing up, like Bill would've. Driving home, he processed, Miss Harper was in deep, and the shipment was bigger than he'd thought. He nearly missed a black SUV half-hidden near his drive. Slowing, he snapped a pic with a hidden camera, then looped around via the back road. The house was being swept by two pros, tactical gear. No biker vibes. They planted bugs, photographed papers, hunted for secrets. Daniel texted Lily, code yellow. Stay inside school after bell. Password only. Then he moved, subduing them with zip ties in the barn and calling Tom. At school, Lily got the text in Ms. Harper's class. When the bell rang, she stayed put. Dad says wait here, she told Ms. Harper, showing the message. The teacher nodded, unreadable. I'll grade papers. Stay. 20 minutes later, Daniel texted, all clear. Password, Sarah's Roses. He picked her up, explaining the intruders, federal types, not thunderclaws. They're after me, my past, he said. Shipments tomorrow now. Sheriff Tom met them at the barn, where the cuffed men sat. No IDs, no prints in the system, Tom said. ATF called, MS. Harper's an agent, embedded to watch Thunderclaw kids. They want you, Dan. That night, fog thickened. Lily walked Ranger near the house when he froze, growling at a shape in the mist. Elsie Tate stepped forward, no sweet granny now, steely, focused. He knows me, she said as Ranger relaxed. I ran K9 ops for the Green Berets. Picked him for your dad's unit. Lily gaped. Tonight's shipment isn't guns, it's chemical weapons. A demo for buyers, using Pine Hollow as the test. Ranger growled again, nose to the barn. Chemical alert. Elsie said. It's here already. Daniel and Tom raced out, weapons ready. Stay inside, Daniel ordered, following Ranger to a hidden canister in the barn. As Hazmat rolled in, Elsie told Lily, my son, General Victor Tate, runs this. I've fought his kind my whole life. She showed a photo, her, young, with a stern man. Stopping him's on me. Dawn broke red. And Lily argued to go to school. If I vanish, they'll know, she said. Daniel relented, trusting Ranger. Third period, Principal Hayes called her to his office, barring Ranger. Ms. Harper intervened, but Hayes hinted at a trap. Smoke grenades hit, and chaos erupted. Ms. Harper, Agent Harper, fought back as Lily was grabbed, tossed, and dragged off, Ranger down behind her. Daniel got the alert, Lily's tracker moving fast. They've got her, he told Tom and Elsie. Victor's playbook, Elsie said. Hits the weak link. Daniel went full Green Beret, tracking her to the Harper mill. Lily woke there, bound, facing Cody. "This wasn't the plan," he muttered, guilt-ridden. "Just watch your dad." She saw his bruises, his fear. "Your dad hurts you," she said. He nodded. "Help me, they've got chemical weapons." Doubt flickered, then resolve. "Shipments at 7, he whispered. "Chemical demo on the town." He left, promising water. Lily snapped her zip ties, improvising with cleaning supplies. Outside, Agent Harper's voice boomed, "ATF surrounds you. Release the hostage." Elsie's followed, "Victor, stop this. Son." General Tate laughed. "It's begun." Hissings filled the air, chemicals loose. Ranger barked at her door, slipping in with a mask and note, "Mask on. Follow Ranger. Trust Harper." She masked up, and Ranger led her out, taking down a guard. She grabbed Cody, guiding him to Harper at the exit. Daniel and Elsie emerged with Tate in cuffs, the mill secured. "You came for me," Lily whispered, hugging her dad. "Always," he said. A week later, the farm hosted a victory dinner. Tom, Harper, Elsie's crew. To unexpected heroes, Elsie toasted Lily. On the porch, Lily leaned on Daniel. "Mom'd be proud," she said. "She'd say you've got her heart and my fight," he replied. "Your size isn't a flaw, it's your strength." Ranger sprawled across them. The stars above, a quiet promise of peace earned. From Lily's journey, we learn that true strength isn't about how you look, it's about the heart you show and the love you fight for. Her size, once a target for bullies, became her power to endure, proving that what others see as flaws can be our greatest gifts. And with her dad and Ranger by her side, we're reminded that family, however it's built, gives us the courage to face anything. What's your takeaway from this story? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like this video if it touched you, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. See you in the next one.